Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Health Movement Podcast. I'm Derek, a certified personal trainer and teacher of over 20 years. We have an awesome guest with us this evening, but before I introduce her, I am not a doctor, so before you begin any new programming or changing nutrition, anything like that, please consult with your physician. So without any further ado, with us, I have Taryn Hendricks. She is a certified personal trainer, a licensed practical nurse, and a lover of dogs. Welcome, Taryn.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a personal trainer. You've got the nursing background. So how did you get involved with all this stuff?
The training. Okay. Well, I worked as a nurse for 23 years. And one of the reasons I became a nurse in the first place is just by my love for people, wanting to help people. But also I told myself I could never have a desk job. I can never have a job where I just have to sit. Even when there were times where I was forced to be the desk nurse, I just found myself clock watching. Fast forward 23 years into my nursing career, I just you hear this is a tale as old as time, just kind of got burned out and was already very passionate about fitness, was already working out in the gym, have already myself worked out with other personal trainers. And I just thought, what a great transition to where I'm still helping people in a positive way, but doing what I love. And now I'm independent, so I'm running my own business. And
That's incredible. That's
yes.
incredible. I kind of did the same thing with the desk job. Not enjoying that as much. I graduated with a computer science degree from college, and that lasted about 6 months before they laid everybody off. And I realized that teaching was probably the best thing for me. I enjoyed that, and I got to move around. And you never have to grow up when you work with 10 and 11-year-olds all the time. The jokes and the humor always seem to hit, so it's ideal. But now that you are your own boss, how was that transition from having a 9 to 5 and now it's you? I assume make your own schedule, set your own appointments, and you're in charge of everything.
I do. It's great. I mean, it's been a beautiful transition. And yes, you're right. I am my own boss. I set my own schedule, and am able to be, flexible with my clients, and don't have the stress of ever being micromanaged because I'm the manager. So
That's true. That's true. And how long have you been doing this now?
I have actually not all that very long, for about 9 months.
Wow. And you're going strong. It seemed like from everything I could see on LinkedIn and everywhere else. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
How'd you get your first client? Can I ask you that?
Uh, you know, actually, before I became my own boss, I did
Yeah.
actually work in a corporate gym where I gained experience.
Oh, okay.
But before I could even really try to get a client, somebody I actually already knew, who used to train with the trainer I train with, uh, called me up one day and she said, I heard you're a trainer. I need you." And so
That's
that's how I,
fantastic.
I got the first one. And from there, referrals are my main
That's
source of um, getting clients. Yeah.
that's great. I mean, you must have had a good relationship together, and she must have appreciated though at least what she saw in you and working out and kind of your attitude and philosophy to call you up and like, I need you, you're mine, let's go.
I know. I was actually very humbled because she actually lives about 45 minutes away from me and makes that drive to see me 3 days a week for 1 hour sessions. I mean,
Wow.
I was humbled. I am humbled. But yeah, you're right, Derek. It's all about relationships that you have with people,
Uh,
relationships and
how
you put out.
Yeah, definitely. Building trust, I've noticed is a huge piece of this, because if somebody's making a change and whether it's a physical change, and we try to stress on here, like, the way you look, it's not, it's one of the least important things when you're talking about a transformation, or getting healthy. The benefits that come along from eating well and exercising and moving in terms of longevity and just how you feel day to day is so important, but you've got to build a level of trust with people in order to really get them going along the path that they need to. Is that something that comes naturally to you? I mean, you strike me as somebody who's open, smiling, you're happy, you're energetic, and you seem to want the best in people. Is that an accurate assessment of who you are?
Yes, I would say that's very accurate, and I kind of like to use the phrase "earn trust." That's often something that I put out there when speaking to potential clients. I tell them that I would like to have the opportunity to earn your trust,
I like
and
that.
how I typically go about doing such things is I do offer a free consultation, and even a 30-minute live workout. Just because even though, yeah, they've heard that I'm great, I still want for myself to know that I've earned that trust. And so, it's kind of like any other relationship. You have to make sure that you have chemistry mutually.
Yeah.
You're going to be working together.
Have you found in, I guess you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but have there been people that have wanted to work with you and you're like, yeah, I don't think this is a good fit. You don't, there, that chemistry isn't there. Um, or generally speaking, somebody who's willing to make that initial step is somebody who's motivated enough to make the changes that need to be made.
I would say that's really the main thing. I guess if you're asking me if I've ever had somebody just act completely out of hand, I can't say that I've really experienced that, but
Well,
yeah.
I
I,
didn't mean necessarily out of hand, but maybe somebody that you could tell right away wasn't really going to take this seriously and go through the motions and
oh,
that sort of thing.
absolutely. Before I became independent and worked in a corporate gym, it's definitely more of a salesy type environment, if you will.
Yep.
And oftentimes I was just kind of some people were just kind of like, forced on me, and it was kind of, they weren't really sure if they wanted to do it, so therefore, we kind of started off on that foot. Maybe they were just taking advantage of a special deal, or whatnot, but sure,
Yeah.
absolutely, I've certainly had my share of working with clients that I just felt that it was more of me chasing after them, or um, for lack of a better term, like babysitting them in a sense. And
Yeah.
that's typically not going to be good for the trainer or the client.
No, that's not really an enjoyable experience. When you have that initial consultation, like what do you notice right away in the people that are going to take it seriously, and what like, are there clues? Are there different things they say, or is it just like a connection?
Well, sure. I mean, I'll tell you. One of my questions that to me is kind of a telltale sign of whether a person's ready. I always ask, well, for after discussing what their goals are, the next question I ask is, so in your mind, how long is it going to take for you to reach these goals?
I like
And I oftentimes will hear, well, I think we can, get this thing done in 6 weeks or 2 months. And that's when I take the initiative to say, when you're talking about making lifestyle changes, we're talking about making lasting lifestyle changes. Are you looking to just, a quick fix? And yeah, can I help you drop a few pounds and improve your body composition in a short period of time? Sure. Um, but I let them know that really and truly, to make those true lasting changes, and to make those behavioral changes, because a lot of this is psychological, it takes about a year. It takes about a year for
that.
anybody to make real behavioral changes. And if they get on board with me with that one, then I know that they're serious. I know they're serious. And that's what I'm looking to do, is to make lasting changes with my clients.
I was writing down as you were saying that lifestyle change because it's not a 6 week thing. It's not an 8 week. It's not even a 2 year thing. If
Right.
you want it to really last, it's you have to change uh, your life the way you, and it doesn't mean, yes, you might have to, I don't like the word sacrifice because yes, you're not housing 3 pizzas a week and, going to Dairy Queen every day, but what you're getting in return from eating healthy and focusing on wellness, that it's so much more beneficial cognitively. You can sleep better, you're happier, your joints feel better, you can move, you can get on the floor with your grandkids if that's what you have and that's your goal. Like, life is so much better than a lot of people get to experience just because of the state of, not to get like go down a rabbit hole, but the obesity rate in the United States now is at 42%. It's supposed to hit 50% by 2030, which, and again, like it's not your image or the way you look, it's how you feel. You don't feel the way you should when you're at that point.
Right. That's more about, like, quality of life. That is,
Yeah.
I think that's what we're talking about. When you mention that, the quality of your life, the way you feel, the way you feel, mentally, psychologically, your confidence, your ability to just function in daily life, walking, for miles on a shopping trip or a vacation, and just being able to enjoy the full extent of quality of life.
There was this joint study between Oxford and Yale that looked at the success of people in their careers, especially though, well, they looked at those who had like a regular fitness routine and ate healthily and prioritized their health. In the salary difference was almost 25,000 between those who prioritized their health and those who didn't. Which a lot of people like, if you can monetize certain things and put a dollar amount to it, I think it also helps some people. And it depends on what people's motivations are and what their goals are. But in order to be successful at whatever you want to do, you've got to be, sharper cognitively. You've got to have more energy. You have to be able to sleep so you can recover. Like, there's so many things you have to do. But it was, I was thinking about that study and the way, like, you could look at a cookie or you could look at an apple and think, all right, if I eat this apple instead of the cookie, maybe that's worth an extra $3, or, just to try and put a different spin on things. And I'm not demonizing cookies. I love them. They're wonderful. But everything in moderation is a good thing. But it's just interesting that the success and everything that people feel when you're healthy. You look at the top execs and the top people in business. Most of them prioritize their fitness, prioritize their health, and there is definitely a direct correlation between that.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of a, two no two human beings are alike, and no two people have the same goals or the same experiences in life. Our neurotransmitters are all, wired a little differently. So I always like to start off just really getting to know who my client is, wanting to know not only what are their, specific goals as far as, weight loss, muscle gain, things of that nature, but also what your past experiences with exercise. Have you ever felt fearful? And if so, why? Or has it ever been exciting to you? And if so, what was that? And tapping into that really allows me to be able to customize a program that's, tailored for them. Maybe they've never worked out at all and they're just absolutely terrified of being in the gym and just have anxiety just of the, of the unknown. And so for me, it's really important to uncover those things from your clients so that you can develop a program that also fits them psychologically. I mean, that's a really big part of it. Also, finding out about any injuries or any pains that they may have so that we can you know, either modify some exercises or choose a completely different exercise altogether that will still hit that specific muscle group. Keeping it fun. If you don't tailor your workouts to your client, they lose if they lose interest, it's not fun, you're less likely to retain them as a client, and therefore they're less likely to get the results. So
I like that.
I find
Um,
it's really important to uncover their truth.
yes, and I like that you said not everybody has the same goals, and a lot of people think, "Oh, I need to go to the gym to lose weight," and that's like a blanket statement, but it's the why behind that you want to do it. Do you lack self confidence, or you don't feel good, or you've got digestion problems, or whatever, family disease, or any, you see things, usually in life there has to be some sort of catalyst or something that is going to make you or push you to change the way you are, because we all just kind of want to stay in our lane as much as possible. But when something happens, or you have some motivation to help you along the way, that's where the big change happens. So you gotta, like you said, you need to have those conversations to figure out what the goals are and what they want.
Right. Or, a good question I always have is, why did you decide to start like now? Why did you
Yes.
decide to
Yeah.
start today? And that really helps you uncover what their true motivation is, or what their urgency or not urgency is, whatever that may be for them.
Yeah. I mean, outside of an accident where they have to recover, they have to rebuild strength, something like that, a
Mhm.
lot of people are dealing with the issues they have. They've been with it for years. Like these aren't like quick changes. It's a slow progression over time, and then something usually slaps you in the face. You're like, "Uh-oh, I kind of let this get out of hand. I need to fix something here," and you kind of go from there. So, I think that's definitely an important thing to do. In terms of training people, do you, excuse me, it sounds like most of it is in person that you're doing, or
Everything I do is in person. I know there is a lot of internet or online programs that are out there, and I've actually seen them, and that those things are great. But I truly still believe in the power of human touch, human
yeah,
interaction, being able to, sure, you can, see these exercises online and watch the video, but unless you have somebody else actually observing you, how do you really know that your form is correct?
yeah,
How do you know that you're not continuing to do the same exercise over and over again without proper form? And the next thing you know, possibility of injury. Also the motivation that an in-person coach provides. Sometimes in the middle of a set, I start to see maybe a little bit of a, attitude change, or they just kind of, just stop, and you could take the time to say, what's going on? What's wrong?
yeah.
And maybe they just needed a pause, which is okay. Or, maybe they just feel like it's too much, whatever that is. And it's like time to hit the reset button. Okay, let's figure this out so that we can, move forward. So really
Yeah,
it's about having the human touch.
I definitely have seen that too in person, where, and maybe it's coming from a guy's point of view, but where someone's, they want to hit a PR, or your personal record for a lift or something like that, and it's, they're struggling, but when people are there pushing them, encouraging them, sometimes they can squeeze out that little extra strength they needed. Whereas, if you're by yourself, it's tougher. But there are also people that I definitely know, people that kind of like to put the headphones on and shut out the world when they're going to the gym. So like you said, find out what goals people have and what works best for them, and that's what you tailor things to.
Yeah, and on
Um,
the flip side, sometimes trying to reach their like personal best, a lot of times lifting too heavy to where their form is lost, and they
oh
they
yeah,
don't realize that unless somebody that a professional is looking at that and letting them know that, hey, like, I love what you're trying to do here, but maybe we need to lift a little bit less weight until we really get stronger with proper form, because once we lose form, as you know, Derek, we put ourselves at great risk
yeah.
for injury.
No, I remember when I was younger, me and a couple buddies were trying to, like we normally do, build as much strength as possible, and we were hitting the big lifts. and that we pushed it hard for a good 12 weeks, maybe even got to 14, and the strength got way up, but then immediately we had shoulder pain and issues, and then we couldn't lift anything for another month or two just because we had gone too heavy too long. So if people are pushing those weights really heavy, you definitely need someone there with you, whether it be a friend that knows what they're doing, or then lighten the load. Like there's nothing wrong with higher reps and less weight. You can get a ton of good work out of that, and you can build strength. You can build muscle like that. You don't need to be going 1 or 2 rep max all the time or
So
anything like that.
true. So true.
And sometimes when you have those higher rep things, it's more of a mind motivation thing where you're trying to challenge yourself. You're like, all right, I can do one more. I can do one more. I can do one. And you keep kind of pushing yourself that way. What's your preference when you're working out? Do you go the high rep range, or do you mix it up, or what do you enjoy doing?
I do both. I switch it up. Some days I'm doing more, I guess you would say like a mobility, type stuff to where, I'm hitting my lifts, whatever muscle group I decide to work on that day. And, maybe I'll do up to 15 reps.
Yeah.
But then I tell myself, okay, so I usually hit each of my muscle groups at least twice a week. So, the second time I'm going for the big guns. And I just know I think that that's a really good combination to do both, because they do both work. And that's the question a lot of clients ask me, which is better for growing muscles. And the truth is both, because
Yeah.
doing the higher reps builds up more muscle endurance for you, which is also going to give you strength endurance, which is going to give you more of the power to really start being able to accomplish those heavy lifts that you're after. So I mix it up.
That's good, and I think that's key. A lot of people, especially if you're newer to fitness, don't understand the necessity of switching it up and challenging your body in different ways. Otherwise, you get really, really good at one movement, but as soon as you try something different, you've got no stability there, no mobility, like you were saying. So the importance of switching things up is huge. Um, in terms of, I would assume you're an active person even when you're not in the gym. Are there things you enjoy doing? Um, I know you're a lover of dogs, so I assume you go for walks.
Well, I don't do that quite. So I do have doggy doors, and my dogs
Ah,
have like free reign of my entire. It's actually their house, free reign of the house.
I
But
got you.
yeah, I'm absolutely active on my days off. I do stress the importance of rest and recovery, but that doesn't mean laying on the couch eating bonbons all day
Yeah.
either.
Yes.
Um,
That.
I like to do a lot of stretching at home. That's something, if I'm like, today, I'm not going to the gym today, I'll dedicate a good like 30 minutes to just really, getting in there and doing a lot of deep stretching. Um, Love to, yes, I do go for walks. I like to take my son for walks. What else?
Is
Biking.
your husband as active as you are?
Yes, he is. That is one of the things that brought us together initially. Yep, he's a gym bro.
Oh,
Uh,
was this like a gym crush thing you always hear about, where you guys were working out near each other?
I didn't meet him in the gym, but that was
Okay.
something that we quickly connected with. But my husband's he's a big dude. He's 6'3", like 225, and I've taught him a lot of new things recently, and I was very uh humbled or honored that a guy of his build would allow me to teach him. But had him soar in places. He says glutes. He wants to work glutes, and I just always see the back squats and the squats. And as we
Yeah.
know, those hit the glutes a little bit. But I got him into those detailed things. Like walking lunges and
Oh,
hip
yeah.
thrust and hip abductions and all the things that guys don't typically get.
No, we don't, but it hurts. Yes, I know. I started doing the lunge walks and the thrusts and stuff just to try to be more well-rounded. And yeah, it hits you pretty quickly once you start.
Well-rounded.
Ah, yes, I wasn't even going
I
for
live
that
in
fun
Florida.
there.
I live in the beach of the town of the BBLs.
Yes. Yeah. Where are you guys located?
I'm in South Florida. I specifically live in West Palm Beach,
Oh, wow.
Florida.
So,
So it's like the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach area.
oh, I'm so jealous. It was like 12 degrees when I woke up this morning. I'm in Massachusetts and it started getting nice. I'm like, oh, good. I don't need a coat. And then I went out this morning. I was like, ah, come on. Yeah, it was one of those things. But that's got to be fun down there is, everybody's active. From what I can tell is it's a very active community and people are outside and enjoying the weather. Are
Yes.
there any sort of things like races or hikes or like activities that you guys are looking to do, or any of your clients, like, hey, I want to run a 5K, like can you help me out with that sort of thing? Is there that level that has started up yet?
I currently don't have any clients looking to do that. I do have a lady that I'm working with getting ready for a bikini competition.
Oh, very nice.
Kind of fun. It's very disciplined. I myself have never competed, by the way, but I've studied up on how to prepare for such things, and so
Yeah.
yeah, we've really just been fine tuning her. And like the hardest part is the very restrictive diet, which
Yeah.
I want to say should never be done for long term, only for
Yes.
short periods of time for a specific reason. So yes, I think that's the thing she's looking most forward to is being able to eat a piece of pizza, slice of pizza or something.
That's great though that you were able to look into that and figure out the best approach for it, even though you haven't experienced it yourself necessarily. But that's awesome that you're able to give the clients exactly what they needed and figure out what to do, because it's like you said, it's restricted. We've had a couple of people on who've competed themselves and they've gone into just how how restrictive is the right word everything is, especially down to like how many ounces of water you're allowed those last couple days, and just
Right.
it's even the timing of certain things is pretty crazy.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of fun. So that's the competition I'm currently working
Oh,
on.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Um, we had a guest on recently, Kate, who does a Sunday Fun Day thing where they kind of challenge themselves with just the workouts to try and mix things up, which has been fun. She sent a couple to me to try out, and I did one of them. One of them, it didn't look like that was going to happen anytime soon. I've got to work on that one. But there was, I would love to at some point in time be able to do like a handstand push up or something along that line. But looking into how to do something, it's like a 6 month process minimum, starting where I am as the the guy with no balance, and I couldn't even do a back dive off a diving board without landing flat on my back. So that part's a little crazy, but I think it's better to like keep trying new things, keep pushing yourself in certain directions in order to just keep challenging yourself.
Yeah, agreed. And I also work a little bit with some of our our aging population, and just functional strength. I mean, just you know um oftentimes our aging population experiences falls, and it's not due to weakness per se. It's due to balance issues, and so balance training is another good thing to throw in there, even for people like ourselves as well.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Absolutely. My
so,
son had a
yeah.
soccer game at a place called Four Kicks, which is a big sports complex. And I was looking through what was offered for sports because they have basketball courts and everything else. So there would be a couple nights a week basketball, volleyball, and then it got to pickleball, which it must have had 15 different times throughout the day that pickleball's offered, where every other sport's like two or three times. So it's definitely a lot of mobility there, and I'm not uh sometimes an older crowd that enjoys pickleball, but it's just nice to see all these different things that are coming out that people get to enjoy, which I think is super important.
Yeah, that's really big down here too. Pickleball, with people of all ages. Um, I haven't played it myself, but
No,
I have
I
quite a
haven't
few
either.
friends that they're all in. So
Yeah,
it's
they do something after school at my school. The teachers do. They play pickleball one day a week, or they did in the past. They're trying to set it back up, and I don't know what I had, but couldn't do it. And it was I don't know, it looks like fun. Something different to try for sure.
yeah. To each his
So
own, right?
yes. Do you have any advice to anybody just starting out that might want to go down the personal training path and kind of start up their own business there? Do you have any advice for anybody in that regard?
For trainers. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess my best advice is, you have to take a leap of faith. And you have to put yourself out there. You need to let yourself be known to who your target audience is. I know a lot of people want to hashtag this and that on, social media. But typically the clients that you're going to get that are going to, stay with you, be able to, um, you know, um, partake in your services are not really scrolling on, social media.
Yeah.
Make direct contact with people that are in your target audience. Like, don't be scared. Like, get out there, put yourself out there. You know,
Where do you train people? Do you have like room in your house or do you do it at a local gym or do you have your
I
own?
okay. So even though I am independent, I do not work for, but I do train clients in a gym that is local. Um,
I've seen a lot of trainers do that. They don't
yeah,
work for the
I
gym, but you kind of have.
I pay the gym a monthly flat, rent fee,
Yeah.
and conduct my business as I want. And then also I have a couple of clients that I travel to. They actually have home gyms, and so
Oh,
I have
nice.
a couple of clients where I do that. But I'm open to all kinds of things. I'm even planning in the future of setting up, sessions maybe in the park with multiple training multiple people at once, kind of just
Yeah.
building a community even amongst my, current clients and maybe getting some new clients that way as well.
Yeah,
So
I've seen a
I,
lot of people around here will do that just for free. And then you do it consistently, and then the people start showing up and they get to know you and they like what you're doing, and it usually leads
yeah,
to something good.
don't wait for people to come to you. This is my that's the tagline. Don't wait for people to come to you. You need to let people know who you are and what it is that who you are and what it is that you have to offer. You have to be brave. Put yourself out
Was
there.
that initially tough for I mean, you seem like a very outgoing person, and in your previous career, communication and speaking with people, I imagine, was a big part of it. So, was
Sure.
that difficult to get started with, or was that kind of something you enjoyed?
No, I mean it's something that comes pretty natural to me. Talking to people, creating relationships. It was more of kind of a sitting down, pen to the pad, asking myself, and you know what, this could be different for every trainer, but asking myself, what kind of people do I want to train? What kind
Yeah.
of who is my target audience? And the answer to that could be different from anybody. But making a list of these businesses, these people, Google is your friend. You can find out anything you want on Google these days, and making direct contact with these people. And you know you're not always going to be told yes. You're going to also be told no, but you have to be able to handle that and stride and know that's just, part of the game.
You got to know you're going to get a whole bunch of no's in
Oh,
order to get
sure.
a yes. So the game can be how many no's can I get today? And you can't get a no if you're not asking, if you're not putting yourself out there. So even if it's 40 no's in a day, at least you went up to 40 people and you put the effort in.
That's right. You
Um,
don't ASK, you don't GET.
I like that. I actually for the go to our YouTube channel, Health Movement Podcast on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, please. All that stuff helps out the channel. I told Taryn when we were talking beforehand that I was going to forget to mention that, and then I started the show and messed up the first time. And then when I restarted, I completely forgot about it, which I always do. So, anyway, one of the things that I tried, which I was speaking with somebody who's a marketing manager. He said use ChatGPT. He said send it like put your. I put the YouTube link into it. I said analyze my YouTube channel as a marketing manager and go through it, and it broke it down and gave a ton of feedback. So that's also you can utilize artificial intelligence to check a business plan and all this other stuff that
Sure. And don't
is
underestimate the power of sending personal letters to people with your
oh
actual
yeah.
signature on it. I mean, that's a very soft approach. You know that the information has been delivered and see what's happened. I've actually had some success with that as well.
Yeah, I think that's how I got you on the show. Was I sent you the podcast and said, "Hey, if you have a minute, would you mind listening?" And
Yes, you
some
did.
people you connect with the right people who are in the same mindset, and that's what you're looking for. And
Yeah,
you don't want to get every client. There's some that aren't the right client for your business and your business model and the people you want to train. And you only have so many hours in the day. You'd rather spend it with the right type of people.
that's so
So
true. And when people talk, I hear a lot of personal trainers talk about burnout, and they say get better clients. Get clients that don't stress you out. Get clients that you actually enjoy training. You do, as the trainer, have a choice in who you choose to train. And not
yeah.
that I'm not saying that these are like bad people, but just you're not right for them. They're not right for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Good way to
absolutely.
minimize burnout as a trainer is get the right clients. Get good clients that you vibe with and they vibe with
Yeah,
you.
definitely. Quality over quantity is definitely gonna help, and if you do good work, then it's gonna come, So
So true. Then
that's
you don't
awesome.
really
That's good
have to
advice.
worry about it. You'll get tons of referrals, and you don't have to worry about sending letters out anymore.
That's true. That's ideal
Yes.
when you get to that point. Um, was there anything else you wanted to make sure we covered while we were talking, in terms of training, programming, nutrition? Anything you wanted to make sure that you could leave the listeners with?
Oh my goodness.
I threw you on the spot there big time. That was mean.
Uh, just just keep it fun. Keep it fun. That kind of goes back to the tailoring of programming. It's find out what your client likes. What makes them tick, and try to do your best to go in that direction. And I think
Right.
they'll stick with the program for
You're
a
not
long
enjoying it, then you're not going to stick with it long
time.
term. And if you're not seeing results or if you're not seeing the benefit of it also. So if you can make it fun, that's also beneficial. I think that's the best of both worlds right there.
That gets you the best results. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, how can people get in touch with you or reach out to you? I know you're in person, but we do get a couple people down from Florida listening. So, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
Okay, well, they could go visit my website. That is tbodyboutique.com. Taryn's Body Boutique is the name of my business. I am also a verified Google business. So if you just Google Taryn's Body,
Oh, look at that shirt.
I got the merch on.
Oh,
That's one way
swag.
to find me. That's probably the best way. And it will provide you with all of my contact information, phone number, email, all the
All
above.
right. I will definitely throw all that stuff in the show notes as well. But thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, talking to everybody about programming and exercise and just how to live a better life. That's what the goal here is to kind of spread the word and get everybody up and moving and getting that quality of life is good and as high as we can get it. So,
Yes, well, I really appreciate you having me. This has been fun. And yeah, I'm very grateful for this
all right.
opportunity.
Well, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.